What's good, man? Can y'all hear me?
We can.
I'm live here at fourth quarter revamp, man. So people start coming in if they have questions. We'll put them on here and let them ask the question they want to ask. How about that?
That's what's up.
Got it on the screens up here at the club. So yeah, they said I can do it. The boss said I can do it. So I'm up here.
The takeover. I like that, bro. What you drinking tonight?
Oh man, since I'm in the club, I'm drinking on that Crown Apple tonight.
Crown Apple, that's what's up. Shout out your handles, bro. Where can they find you?
On Twitter, blackman.angry. That's me on Twitter. Facebook, that's just my name. Same on Instagram, man.
That's what's up, my brother. Thank you for being here. From Detroit,
Always.
Michigan, down in Huntsville, Alabama, Miss Diamond Thomas. How are you, little sis?
Hey, Sammy. How are you? I'm great.
I'm good, baby girl. How are you? What you drinking on tonight?
And I'm drinking water, of course, tonight. And you can find me on Instagram at Diamonds Are Better, DIAMOND, the letter Z, the letter R, better. Same on Twitter and on Facebook, Diamond Thomas.
That's what it is. Give me that info and I'll make sure that I put it on there. Mr. Joe Maddie, big brother, how are you today, sir?
Family, how y'all feeling? I'm good. Y'all get to see me pop this joint open.
What you drinking on tonight, man?
Red Stripe tonight. Glad to see y'all. Glad to be with you.
Good to see you too, bro. Where can they find you at, Maddie?
Listen, I'm best at josephrmadison.com. All social will be there.
What it is. Good to see you, bro. Mr. Ray Wills in New York, Manhattan. What's up?
All is well, Cuzzo. Good to be here. Good to see everybody. Excited for the guest that we have on tonight. Interesting conversation. I'm ready for it.
That's what it is. Good to see you too, man. Where can they find you at, Cuzzo?
Instagram, Wills TV. Twitter's Ray Wills, and Ray Williams on Facebook.
What you sipping on tonight, man? I know you're drinking on something good.
It's a little whiskey. I'm going to do 1 cup tonight, and then I'm going to cut myself off.
I'm proud of you. My sister, Kimberly Dobine, Detroit, Michigan. What's going on, sis?
What's up, Sammy? What's up, guys? How are you?
Good to see you. What you drinking on tonight?
I am drinking celery juice. Delicious.
Freshly squeezed.
Yes, very much freshly squeezed. And you can find me at poshandpopular.com, Posh and Popular on Instagram, as well as Kimberly M. Dobine on Instagram, and the same on Facebook, Posh and Popular, Kimberly M. Dobine.
Thank you for joining us tonight, sis.
Always.
Mr. He goes by many names. You know, at this point, I don't know where he reigns at this point, but today, Mr. Tennessee Whiskey Poppy, aka Joe Cross. What's going on, Cuzzo?
What's up, boss? Good to be back, man. Good to see everybody. A lot of beautiful black faces, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man. What you drinking on tonight?
Tonight, you know, it's a little Tennessee whiskey from my decanter set by Endless Expressions by Felicia. They blessed the brother with a nice, you know, set. So yeah, we just gonna be taking it easy today, man. Little Tennessee whiskey, you know.
That's what it is. Where can they find you at, Cross?
Joe Andre online, everything. You know, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's everywhere.
That's what it is. And our guest tonight, let me start, ladies first. Miss Aayana Ingram, class of 2019, correct? You were political science major as well as former SGA president as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. What you drinking on tonight, sis?
I got some tea from Cookout.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey, how about this? Oh no, they did have a cookout when we was there. They had one all the way down South Parkway. So what? I take it there's a lot more cookouts in Huntsville now, right?
No, it's still one. It's on North Huntsville now. It's by Walmart.
Right down Sparkman Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Well, welcome to the show, Aayana. And my brother Chris Newell, class of 2017, music education major, I believe, part of MMW, correct? Class of, what were you, 2017, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. But I was a music performance major.
Okay.
But it's still music, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, my brother. What you drinking on tonight?
Oh man, I'm honored just to be invited. Just a little whiskey, you know.
That's what it is.
Liquid gas.
Liquid gas. Liquid gas. Oh, bro. All the liquor stores ought to do say so.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us, my brother. So today, let's start the conversation off. We have been doing this series of building this generational gap. It started with the Alumni Association, a membership drive that we did with the Alumni Association, and there was so much energy from that. So we, as a crew here on Let's Talk About It, decided to let's talk to the different decades. So we started with 1950s and 1960s. Last week, it was amazing. Salute to our big brother and big sisters for joining us last week. And today we are going to travel to the 2000s and talk to Miss Aayana Ingram, Mr. Chris Newell, and us as well. I graduated in 2003, 2004. I think Kim, when did you graduate?
2005.
2005. Ray Wills, 2005, correct?
2006.
Tennessee Poppy, you graduated with me, 2003, right?
No, 04 for me.
4. Maddie?
2000.
Wow. And Aldeezy spent a
The
lot of time.
The non-graduate.
I was going to let you say that. So, you know.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But thank you guys for joining us. So Kim Dobine, start us off. And I see Diamond. She is joining us. There we go. Sis, you there, Diamond? She's having a little technical difficulties. But Kim Dobine, let's start with you, sis.
Well, I don't know why I got this honor. When was the last time I started the conversation? Oh my goodness. I'm over here drinking my celery juice and eating cucumbers trying to get skinny again. So don't mind me. But I just want to hear from our guests, you know, how was your experience on the Hill? Because we hear so many differences from when, you know, we started our first year and all the things that we experienced. So tell me some of the highlights of coming to the Hill your first year and what that experience was like for you.
Well, I can go first. My first year on the Hill, it was an experience. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it was 2015. So I think like after 2015, like things got a lot more stricter on campus. So with 2015, like we just had fun. That's when we had the big snowball fight on campus. That's when we just like, I felt like we had like more free will. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like we just like, I don't know, for me, I felt like we took every opportunity. My class, 2015, coming in 2015, I feel like we took every opportunity to just have fun on campus. And then we was the biggest class. I think we still are the biggest class that came through Aayana at that time. So it was really like, yeah, it was a lot of us. So I feel like we took that time to like, we really bonded. Even to this day, like us coming in 2015 is still close. And we just had fun. Like just straight fun.
So did you guys have like Operation Jumpstart, ice cream socials? Like, was that first week, like, did you experience the stadium where you had like the ceremonies and voting for class officers? Did you guys experience that the first week in the first year too?
Yeah, so we had, what's it called? SOAR. It's now called SOAR. So we had SOAR. I actually, because some people took SOAR during the summer, I actually had SOAR the first week of school because I couldn't afford to just come up here during the summer. So we actually had SOAR, went through that process. Yeah, we had a lot of events on campus, but most of the time, class of 2015 coming in, we just did what we wanted to do. Like we had a lot of late parties on the quad. Somebody would bring a speaker out to the quad. We'll be out there till 3 o'clock in the morning, got 8 o'clock classes. So like we did a lot more stuff on our own. I can't really remember a lot of like SGA events that we probably went to because that was like so long ago. It seemed like yesterday, but it was so long ago. But like I just remember us doing a lot of stuff on our own. But I do remember that we had SOAR. We did have Welcome Week events, a lot of quad parties and stuff like that. But that's all I really remember. And I remember homecoming.
Okay. And what about you, Chris? How was your experience? Oh, I'm sorry, Sammy.
No. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna let you say what you had to say, man.
No. I was gonna ask. So you talk about the quad. I just want to touch on this real quick before I forget about it. You guys, I hear the quad a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't going on the quad. So
we was on the block.
We was on the block.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go on the quad at all unless your class was down there, or I mean, maybe
or somebody was literally hosting a school function on the quad.
Which was very rare. Was
very
rare. So now I see that's the hangout spot.
Definitely.
even 6 years ago. That's because 2015. That's the hangout spot. Do you guys ever go to the block at all?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go to the block if like the Greek side will. When I became Greek, I started going to the block more, and that's when we started getting more people to the block. But that's probably like the only thing. Like as far as any other events, we on the quad.
Wow.
And
what about your experience, Chris?
Well, at least my first experience was well, you know, I was in the band, so didn't really have a lot of time to anything else. For real, you know, I was really in the band or because events, you know, we didn't really go to a lot of things. But my first year was great, you know. All my years was great A&M, but especially my first year, just experience, you know, real college life, band life. You know, kind of being from home, but I had a little leniency at home, but just being on your own was kind of different. And just really experiencing, you know, being around a lot of more Black folks, experiencing that college life, late nights, the quad, like she said, things like that, and really the band life. That was my life for a while.
Wow. Yeah, I was a choir kid, so I was always in the choir room, and we had choir camp that first year, so I understand exactly how your experience was.
I was in the choir too. Did I go to choir camp? I can't remember, but I was in the choir too.
Aayana sound like she did a lot of stuff up there. She don't remember shit.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Hey. So how many of y'all been to the package store down there?
But yeah, Sammy, I'm with you, Sammy. It's so interesting. Like nobody mentions the block. I'm like, the block was life. Like my probate picture is the most insane picture. Like I've never seen so many people on the block ever in my life.
I got tons. I got tons of probate. I mean, I remember our first 1999, the first day. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. I can remember the day like it was yesterday, and it was warm, and we had just got off the road from coming from Detroit. It was the sun had just set. We got down to Stevens, unloaded. My cousin went to where he going. I went to where I'm going. My sister and all them, and then I just started walking, and I ended up on the block. And all the freshmen was just down. I mean, the shit was so lit. It was so electric.
99 was different, man. It was different. It was different, man. Like, man, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I got a question for Miss Aayana and for Mr. Chris. Where are you guys from, and what brought you to A&M? Start with you, Aayana.
Yeah, so I'm from Ozark, Alabama, and what brought me to A&M is it's a cool story. I like to think it's a cool story. So I was actually going to Alabama, like I had paid housing fees, all of that, but it was like probably the spring break. Yeah, it was spring break 2015 when my dad told me that he wasn't gonna help me pay for Alabama. So I was like, at that point, like I was depressed and all that. So my friend, she was like, well, I'm about to go to Alabama A&M for this choir audition. And at the time, I didn't know what A&M was because like nobody talked about A&M. Like it was always Auburn, Alabama, Alabama State. Because I'm from deep South Alabama. So I was like, okay, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? So I came up here with her, and she went to audition for the choir. So I'm just sitting there, and her mom was like, oh, you should audition for the choir too. And I was like, okay. So I auditioned and got a choir scholarship. I was like, okay, cool. So we went to, I can't remember what program it was. We went to the gym, and I can't remember nothing. So we went to the wellness center. We went to the wellness center, and they was like, it was this whole big thing, and they was giving out scholarships and all this stuff like that. So her mom, my friend's mom, she was like, go talk to financial aid folks. So she took me over there because I wasn't gonna go. I was like, no, like I'm going to Alabama, even though I don't know how I'm paying for it. So she took me over there. Mr. Jackson, he was like, okay, so what's your GPA? I'm like a 3.6. Then he was like, what's your ACT score? I was like 21. He was like, oh, we can give you a full ride. And I was like, bet. So that's how I got to A&M.
Yeah. Chris,
Awesome.
what about you, sir?
That's a good story. Kind of, I didn't go the same way, but kind of, sort of. Well, I'm from Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia. And what brought me to A&M, one thing I wanted to say about, a lot of people go to the quad now because, it got rebuilt. So it looked a lot different. So it got a lot of attraction. And then at that point, it was just straight. Because I played on the block before in the band, which brought a lot of people. But like y'all said, the block was like the quad for y'all. But what brought me to A&M was really money as well, to be honest. I was gonna go to Tennessee State. I wanted to be in that band. But the band director at the time, Mr. Yates, he came and he offered me a scholarship. It was really like a full ride scholarship almost. And so when I told my parents, they was like, well, I guess you're going to A&M then. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to A&M, and the rest is history. It was.
So if I understand this correctly, Chris, you knew about A&M before you went to it, or did you know about it? Like, at what point did you know about? Because I know Miss Ingram said that she had never heard of A&M while in high school, which is correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard of A&M when you was in high school, Chris?
Yeah, so I heard a little bit about A&M. I visited A&M in 9th grade with my high school band. We visited one of the games or something like that, but I didn't really remember. But I knew about the band, so I kind of knew about the school a little bit. So, but that was it.
Okay.
The best band.
It's nice to hear that Yates is still there too. That was my boy.
I don't think Yates is there no more.
He's gone now.
So
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yates out of here.
Somebody asked, "What is the wellness center?" That's over by normal.
Let me answer that question, Sammy.
Go ahead.
It's like this mythical figure that my generation paid a lot of money for and never saw.
Paid for, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a unicorn of buildings. So you should. So feel free to buy us drinks if you've ever been in the wellness center.
Well, thank you.
For real.
Definitely paid for that through tuition.
Thank you.
We still paying that through Sally Mae. That happens.
I wouldn't know nothing about her.
She's a mythical figure.
So
I had a question for both of you guys. So in the SOAR program, I'm not exactly sure. Is that sort of like a freshman orientation thing?
Mm-hmm.
I never did SOAR. So.
Orientation and registration.
What did that process look like? Did they do like school history and things like that, or like what exactly happened in the SOAR class? Is that where you like chose your major and all of that, or what?
Yeah, so SOAR wasn't a class. SOAR was just a day event where you just like registered for classes and stuff. It wasn't until orientation when you learned about the history of A&M. And I was in honors orientation because I was in the honors program.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how everyone else taught orientation, but how Ms. Holloway taught orientation, we actually learned the history. And because I was in choir, I already knew the alma mater and all that stuff like that. So
got it.
Yeah, see, they don't have Operation Jumpstart like how we did, Ray. So it's completely different than what it was. But
yeah, I kind of feel like
most band and choir kids always learn the alma mater. Like that's like the first week you learn that song. Yeah.
It's what's most interesting to me, like what stands out the most is like, where I'm from, it's like, like my high school was all black. I'm talking 99.9% black. And, our band director went to Alabama State. Half the teachers there went to either Alabama State or A&M. So all we knew really was Alabama State and A&M. You knew you was going to, either or, you know what I mean? And so it's like, when I hear that, like you had never even heard of it, because I understand you close to Mobile. I'm a Montgomery, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably, it was probably Alabama State. But, for us, it was always an HBCU. The question was just which one, and I hope that spirit is still, carried on, throughout the years and generations or whatever. So.
Okay, yeah, I miss SOAR, man. I never got to do it because really once I found out about A&M, well, once I found out I was really gonna go, I remember I was in Florida and I used to think like, I know band is supposed to have some type of band camp or something, right? So I hit up my friend. I hit up my friend who already marches at A&M. I was like, "Hey, do y'all have like a band camp or something?" Because I didn't get a packet. I got the audition late because I really was going to Tennessee State. That was the only school I applied to, the only school I wanted to go to, all that. So I missed SOAR. Then come to find out that weekend I was in Florida. They was like, "Yeah, you got to be here on Monday for band camp," and I was like, "Oh man, this is ugly. I'm in Florida and I don't got nothing prepared." But it was a great experience for sure.
So, are you ready for me to ask some other questions, Sammy?
I am. Go ahead, ask whatever.
So tell us a little bit about what you guys have been working on since graduation, right? Not just what you do, but how you've networked, how you've leveraged the A&M family to help you get where you are, where you're going.
Oh, yeah, I use the A&M family a lot in regards to just like administration and stuff because I will get my master's in May, but my program is a PhD program, but I'm changing to
You one of them smart ones.
Huh? So like through that whole process, even today, like I utilize my resources back at A&M to help me as far as like recommendation letters, different ventures I'm working on. I'm currently working on a scholarship that some of my A&M family is helping me with for A&M students, helping A&M people, helping me try to figure out this higher education foundation I'm trying to work on. Just with everything, like if anything, like I'll reach out to my A&M family before anybody. So A&M has definitely helped me in ways that you can't even imagine. Like, yeah. So I definitely lean on my A&M family a lot.
Talk about the program you just mentioned.
Which one? My grad program?
No. You were talking about something that you're starting.
Oh yes.
Higher Education Foundation.
Yeah, so I've been working on my higher education foundation. So my foundation is really going to focus on HBCUs because I know like a lot of foundations, they will have like a component that focuses on HBCUs, but I want my foundation to be solely for HBCUs. So helping HBCUs in regards to policy work because even though my major is political science, I focus on public policy. So working on like helping get more policies that are geared towards HBCUs in regards to like funding, which is a big thing, and that people don't understand. Like people be like, okay, HBCUs, they're not doing enough. But the thing is the fact that in these policies that are being passed, HBCUs are not adequately funded. Like they might be mentioned, but the funding in regards to certain situations is not the same. So helping with HBCUs with that, as well as helping students with scholarships that are at HBCUs. So, yeah.
If it's something that you could ask the listening audience, in order to help you and advance, your journey, what would you ask of us and all of the other alumni that attended A&M? How can we help?
How could you guys help? Really with like, I guess the foundation work, honestly, because in regards to like how to get an LLC, because I think I need one, and also how to get the nonprofit. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can send you some information, Aayana. I started a nonprofit, so I can direct you to some resources that can actually help you with everything you need.
Okay, great.
So I'll make sure to get your email address and I'll forward you everything that I did so you can get your just get your coin together and get it out the way. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what we're here for.
That's right. And let me tell you something. I left A&M, was gone for many years, and it's like when you graduate, it's like fine wine. Like the relationships you build when you in school, like it just get better with time. It just grow, and the significance of school. I don't know if you guys really feel it right now because you hadn't been outside of school that long, but like the older you get and those relationships you build, like it just becomes more and more valuable. Like HBCUs is just the dopest thing ever. and it just keeps on giving. Like as you get older, you'll see.
So, Joe, you made a very, very good point in asking that question. So I want to point out that the SBA office link is in the comments. It's in the chat. I'm pretty sure you're not the only listener with that concern. In addition to that, we encourage folks to tap into the show and become a guest on the show so we can get you the resources you need. You never know who took classes from someone that's a director at the SBA.
I wanted to know if you guys are working in your major. Aldo, can you mute real quick? Thank you. I wanted to know if you guys were working in your majors and if you felt like the university prepared you for the workforce.
I guess I'll go. I forgot the first question. I was just listening to what she said. I'm like, how am I gonna top that? That's big dog. That's big boy, big girl talk right there. Boss talk. So I love that right there. Congratulations with everything you got going on. That's beautiful. I am in my field. I graduated music performance. I was thinking of going the band director route, but that's not really my passion of being in front, running a band. I want to be, more of on staff, or I really want to be a performer. I graduated with Trill, bro. You a Trill, bro. He know. Shout out to you, man. That's a good A&M plug of mine, man. I always shout him out. He always there for me for anything. But I am a music teacher right now. So music has always been my life. I thank God for music because I don't know where I would really be without music, because I didn't really have a passion for anything else growing up. So music was really my only thing that I could think about going to school for. So I'm still in the music thing, still music teacher at the elementary school, which I love. They make me laugh every day, even though it's virtual, it's crazy. But as far as relationships with A&M, I really thank the current band director right now, Mr. Carlton Wright, and the assistant band director, Mr. Mario Warren. They still instilled a lot in me. And even graduating, Mr. Wright had no problem writing up a good recommendation letter for me. Even if I call right now, I know those guys always got my back. Which is why I love to come back and put in the type of work I can. And like Tennessee Whiskey said, them relationships at the A&M is so huge. I have a good, my family was kind of small. Well, on my dad's side, I'm the only child. He was the only child. My grandma was the only child. So growing up, I had a lot of friends, but once you get to A&M, you get away from your folks. All you have is those other people. So, I gained a lot of brotherhood with either KK Style or the band or just anything, or just random A&M friends, So I really thank God for A&M for real, And I guess my program prepared me. I guess you could say that, yeah. They prepared me.
This man got everybody calling him Tennessee Whiskey.
Right. Sammy, I just saw someone go across the screen asking, can I provide information about the nonprofit information? Right. If you have questions about nonprofit information, I'm just putting it out there. Please email me. My bro just said follow me on Instagram, but you can email me. You can head over to my website, but email me at pr@poshandpopular.com. If you're seriously interested in nonprofit information, I can forward you all the information and resources that I used. Just a tidbit for any alumni that are looking to do nonprofits. You want to have set aside at least about $800 to get the paperwork done and processed for you, right? Then depending on what state you're in, you want to be prepared for another $600 or so to incorporate your foundation, right? So just, word to the wise, you want to have some money ready. LLCs cost $50. Those are easy to do on your state websites. But if you're serious about information, feel free to email me, pr@poshandpopular.com, or head over to my website. You can find my information there. And Aayana, I'll definitely connect with you to send you that information too. But I just wanted to say that because I will forget. So thank you, Sammy.
No problem.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, just one quick thing. I know people are watching, so it could be a plug in here. So I am, I am looking for. Well, I want to go back to school, get my master's in performance, but I am looking for, a trumpet instructor or just someone in the Atlanta area, if anyone or anybody watching is looking. And I am looking for, some other musicians to kind of like jam with. All I do is play at home. I don't have any other people to play with, learn songs, things like that. So if it's anybody watching or know anyone, things like that.
Where do you live?
I live in Atlanta.
I got you. We'll talk.
It would take an hour to get from Atlanta to Atlanta, so you got to say what part of town.
I live in Atlanta. I was born in East Point, not the folks that live outskirts and call it Atlanta. Nah.
Hey, I claim Mableton.
I'm in Winder, Atlanta.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, man, fool, bro.
He said, where's that at? So we appreciate you guys. Please stay on for the conversation. Because I want to touch on this, and we've been promoting this, and clearly it's a touchy subject. I basically made a post, and I call them the stimulus kids. It was a post that I made in the all class reunion group for some of you guys who haven't seen it. And this was right before President Biden signed the COVID relief, whatever, this bill that he just passed. And I made this post, and I basically said, hey, I feel good about this. I feel good about this stimulus that's being put into the community. I feel, this is pretty cool that the less fortunate will be able to eat good off of this little, to some of us, this may not be big. And I think that's where the conversation and it went from there on this post that I made. It was deep yesterday. It got pretty deep. So I wanted to talk about it because it's one of those issues that's maybe touchy to some. It is a huge topic, across America right now. A lot of families are struggling. So there was a bill that was passed. But before we talk about that real quick, I want to introduce our next guest. She actually, I believe you came in with me in 1999, I believe. Yeah. So Miss Shantae Mayo, welcome to the show, Miss Shantae Mayo.
Hello. Hey, Sammy. Can everybody hear me okay?
Good.
Yep.
Good to hear you.
You have to excuse the background noise if you hear any noise. I am, first off, I'm going to say I'm a mother of 6, and I currently breastfeed one. So if you hear one in the background hollering my name, that's him.
Shout out to Mr.
All right. So,
but as Sammy said, yes, I did start A&M with him in 1999. I came to A&M on a full academic scholarship. I was valedictorian of my high school here in Nashville, Tennessee. I graduated with a 3.5, magna cum laude, took a 5-year break thinking, that getting a job was what I needed to do. And after 5 years on that job, I actually worked for DirecTV in Huntsville, Alabama. Everybody know about West, I'm sure. And I let that job go and got my master's degree. I graduated actually in 2012 with my master's degree after changing my major from the 5th year microbiology program to just microbiology pharmaceuticals. Long story. So it's like basically I have like 2 master's degrees from A&M, but so I did that in 2012. I moved back home in 2012. My mom had a seizure and they had diagnosed her with a brain tumor. So I immediately came back home to Nashville. She's doing good. She has to take seizure medicine for the rest of her life. But thank God, she's still here with us. My brother was murdered 2 years after that. And when I first moved here, my brother introduced me to a nonprofit. He was a part of this program where they train felons on electrical, HVAC, plumbing, construction. And so after they completed that program, they helped them find work. So I actually became the office assistant for that company. And then when that boss, basically he had pancreatic cancer and he ended up passing away. But before he left, he told me to, reach out to his brother-in-law who was running the nonprofit. So I worked for a nonprofit for over 8 years, writing housing grants. So we built over 40 homes. I've helped, within that 7-year period, I helped get about $4 million in grant money. I currently am a self-contracting grant writer. 2 years, almost 3 years ago, I was laid off. So God is good. I guess you get what you ask for. So when you ask God and tell God that you're ready to receive your purpose and, you whatever those consequences are, and the next day you get a text that you're being laid off, it gets real. But I'm not looking back. 3 years later, I've had 2 more kids since then. I'm a mother of 6. And I have 2 businesses. I'm a travel professional. I've been a travel agent for over 5 years. That has been a blessing for me. The best $200 investment I could have invested in 5 years ago. I haven't had a 9 to 5 in over 3 years. Don't plan on going back to the corporate world. Right now, I show people how to fix their own credit. I show people how to maximize their W-4, bring more money into their homes where you don't have to wait on a tax refund. Generational wealth, because we know we weren't taught that. We were taught to go to school, get the good grades, get a good job so you can retire, and retire on what? We weren't making it with 100%. How we definitely won't make it with the 40% they trying to give us when we retire. And so my life last year, when I had a baby, I almost lost my life. My doctor left some parts of the baby that weren't supposed to be in there. But, thank God, God saw fit that I was not done with my purpose. So I'm still here. And so right now, all I do is I teach my kids about generational wealth. I have a 17-year-old that actually started in the credit repair business with me at 17 because there's no age cap. So I'm like, why not position my son? My 1-year-old is in the business. He definitely knows nothing about it, but he'll definitely be a millionaire. My family, I didn't come from a millionaire family, but my kids definitely will have one, and they won't start where I started in poverty. They will be, positioned. And I'm glad that Sammy invited me to the show to discuss the stimulus.
Yeah. So
as I said.
So before we get there, okay, everybody, I need you to mute yourselves. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, Miss Mayo, it's all good. So I salute you, Shantae. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't spoke to you in years, in a long time. We do follow each other. I'm not real active on there with like who I follow and what you got going on. Just my close circle, whatever. But I see you. I made a post yesterday, so let's go back. I made a post yesterday. And it was pretty controversial. This post was in a group that I used to moderate, and it was pretty controversial. And just so happened, this meme is your story. You got 6 kids, and I remember seeing. Hold on, Shantae. Yeah. I remember seeing people in the comments like, no, you can only get 2, stimulus money for 2 kids and 3 kids, and so much misinformation. So I wanted to, before I bring you back, Shantae, I wanted to make sure that I put up the actual bill so everybody can see. And then I want to go to you, Shantae, because there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to a lot of kids. So basically, the conversation kind of went left when, there was just a lot of conversation. And of course, some people feel like some single mothers, if you have a lot of kids, it's kind of not fair. I don't feel that way, but some people do. It's a touchy subject. So I applaud you for wanting to come on, number one. Number two, you literally came in the group and said, hey, look, nigga, I got 6 kids, this, that, it is what it is, like whatever. And it seems like you want to tell your story. And I appreciate that. I don't want you to feel embarrassed at all. I know you don't, because I knew you in school, and I'm sure you are the same person. But let's talk. So I'll put up for everybody that was on that comment, and for those that don't know what's going on with this bill. Clearly, when I, in the post, I said a mother, whether you're married or you're single, if you claim if you got 6 kids and you claim 6 kids, you get $1,400 per kid. I don't know. Look, I don't got kids. I don't have 6 kids. I got 2 kids. But from the research that I did, it said that every child gets a stimulus. And then Shantae came in there and said, look, last one I got this amount of money for everyone. So, you basically proved my point, number one, to those people that was in that post. Number two, talk about it. I guess this is different. This is new, maybe because of what's going on with COVID-19 and this pandemic. They're allowing you to get extra money I don't know what's going on. So you were able to get a stimulus check for every one of your kids previously, correct?
That's correct. We can go back to the very first stimulus. The very first stimulus, I received money for myself and 4 kids, because at the time I hadn't had my other 2 kids yet. So with the second stimulus, I got the stimulus for I take that back. The first stimulus, I did get the stimulus for myself and 5 children. The second stimulus, I got the stimulus for myself and 5 children. But then when they came around and was talking about this stimulus, they were saying that if you had a baby in 2020, that you're eligible for the first stimulus, which was the $600, and then the $500 for their child. So you could do one of 2 things. You could either file it for your taxes that next year, which is this year, which is what I did, or you can go to Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block, tell them you want to I don't know the terminology, but basically tell them, right, you want to amend, your taxes and claim, a child that you had in 2020. But since I own 2 businesses, I'm going to just put mine on my taxes. But so this current stimulus that's coming out, I'll get $1,400 for myself, $1,400 for my son that just turned 17, from $1,400 for my 11-year-old, for my 8-year-old, my 6-year-old, my 2-year-old, and my 1-year-old. His will actually, for the third one, I'll actually get that one. I won't have to do anything on my taxes for him. He's actually, as long as they have my direct deposit information, which they do have. The second stimulus, I actually got direct deposit onto my Cash App. And I was like, what? But, whatever. However you want to give it to me.
Onto your who?
It was deposited onto my Cash App.
Oh, okay, got you.
Right.
How they gonna give it to you? Take all this.
And so also with the stimulus package, they've extended. I don't know if you guys are aware of the pandemic EBT, which is pandemic food stamps, that they were given to children that receive free or reduced lunch. So a first and a second round of that has already, come out, where each child that's in school receives like $250 on their own pandemic card that came in their name. So the third round of pandemic stamps is actually coming around now. But the thing, what they aren't telling you is there's an actual portal that you have to go into and possibly have to link your children, because they're not going to be linked in there to you, and make sure that your address is up to date. So a lot of people don't know that, and they aren't getting the extra stamps or the pandemic stamps that they didn't get stamps before, because they don't know to go in and link their children and, you know, update their information. So right now there is another round of pandemic EBT that is going around to all children that are in school.
So hold on. So my kids can get this too, or they gotta be?
Yes, they can, because one of our classmates that I know is in a higher tax bracket, her children got a card in their name.
So put that. I don't know if you're a member of the HBCU CAF. Every time I start talking, I'm gonna just mute you, Shantae, because it's a big feedback. But as soon as it's your turn, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead and put that information in the chat, whatever chat you're watching this at, if you don't mind, for some of the mothers who need that information, whatever portal they need to go to. Also, if you're a member of the HBCU CAF, please go ahead and put that information in there so some mothers and fathers and families can take advantage of that. Seriously. Also, that's not it. There's also a child tax credit. So $3,600 a year for, I believe, 6 and up, and $3,000 for below.
Now, I have a question about that, actually. If you already filed your taxes before the actual bill was passed, would you have to go back and amend your taxes for that credit? Well, if I filed my taxes on, February 16th.
So did you want to opt out of getting the credit, or did you want to get the monthly payments?
Right. So what I'm saying is, for what they're saying is, if you get a certain amount per kid, right, and you also get this tax credit. But if for this year, if I've already filed my 2020 taxes before this bill was passed, so this bill was passed 2 days ago, right? If I filed my taxes back on the 16th of February, would I need to go back and amend my taxes now because of this new bill that has passed?
The answer to this is yes. Okay. And you do, and so there's a couple of reasons why people would need to go and amend their taxes. One, for the child tax credit. Also, for anyone that's on unemployment, the first $10,000 of your unemployment is now tax free. So if you filed your taxes already, then you would also need to amend it so that you're not taxed on that. So you would probably get a larger refund, because that money won't be taxed also. And your tax preparer could do it for you at no cost because the legislation changed.
Right. Well, I wish I had got unemployment. Ooh, child.
Hey, I just wish I could get a stimulus check. You know, everybody isn't that fortunate to even get it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could get some of that funding for the kids, everything. But yeah,
so I had a question for Shantae and Aldo. This might benefit you as well. So a lot of us on the panel are business owners, right? And so what I wanted to ask is, do you qualify for the stimulus because so I know there are income levels, right? But so do you pay yourself a salary out of the business that puts you into the qualifying category, or how does that work? You know, for a business owner that makes over 80,000 or 100,000 or 60,000 if you're married, how does that work in terms of you filing and being able to qualify as a business owner? I just want to know how that works.
Well, it depends on what type of business that you have, and that's why I'm going to put some additional information in the chat about the business I was talking about, the credit business, trying to show you how to keep more of your money when you fall in those higher tax brackets, so you can have more deductions and more write-offs. Like I said, I have 6 children. I can pay each one of them up to $12,000 as an employee. So man, I'm telling you, you can keep so much of your money by just deducting it and getting a real home-based business, not just being a business owner, but like having a home-based business. Like that's the key.
Shantae, you know, just to piggyback on what you're saying, like I completely agree, and I tell people sometimes, you know, like I feel, in my opinion, like, you know, Black people are so big on, you know, we got to get a Democrat in the White House, and we got to get a Republican in the White House, but it's ways to manipulate the system no matter who's in the White House. And there are benefits with Republicans being in the White House if you know how to work the system. And there are benefits with Democrats being in the White House if you know how to work the system. The key is to educate yourself to where it doesn't matter who's in the White House, you're going to get yours.
That's what we call the pivot, Joe. We pivot based on who's in the White House.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us, to Black people. Like I don't even want to. That's another subject for another day. Carry on.
And make sure.
One of my favorite movies talk about distinguished gentleman Eddie Murphy. We got money from the Democrats. We got money from the Republicans. It depends on whose palm you want to grease today.
I just found a good accountant. That's all I did.
So
great accountant.
I have a question, and this came up in the group today. What do you say to the people that say that you are living off of the government or living off the system, or, you know, like, what do you say to those people that sort of frown upon the idea that, you know, you utilize government services to subsidize your income to take care of your children? What do you say to those people?
I say that's the American dream. Everybody's doing it. And I'm not using the system. Like, what? Like, come on now.
She said, fuck them.
Right. I'm going to use that money to build generational wealth for my children, and then I'm going to have a testimony to tell.
Hey, Shantae, you can say fuck them on here. You can say fuck them on here, Shantae.
Like, what people don't understand, some people are really smart once they get that lump sum. You could do a lot with that money. So
yeah, you
I say take whatever I'm gonna get. Take it. Take whatever they can give you for free.
So one of the things that I like to say to people, right? And Shantae, this is to your point. I say, you know, like tax credits and food stamps are both government assistance, right? Like anything that you should have to pay for that you don't pay for is help from the government. So tax write-offs are no different. Like, you know, bailouts are corporate welfare in the same way. So like, I understand that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to say, Sammy, you stupid.
Because, you know, Shantae said, hey, Shantae, you say fuck them, I say fuck them too. Fuck them.
You know,
it didn't matter to me that Trump was in the White House. He still wasn't stopping my money because, like Sammy said, it's ways to keep your money. Like, and it's not illegal.
Yeah. They've been doing it for forever. Madison?
I just say bring the lube. Be nice about it.
Say fucking fuck them. So Aayana, Chris, so you guys, damn, it almost fell. You guys, that never happened. You guys, is this your? Well, you were able to get a stimulus check in 2020, correct? Yes, Aayana?
Yeah, I got my stimmy.
She said, I got my stimmy for sure.
So crab legs left.
But you wasn't in college, right? You had just graduated.
No, I was in school.
You were? You were in undergrad?
No, I was in grad.
Got you. So I want to talk. Do you guys know if anybody last year were able to get, that was in college, were able to get a stimulus? They wasn't, right?
If you was on your parents' taxes, no.
Got you. Okay. But if you were filing taxes, of course you were able to get them. Got it. So Shantae, you said you wanted to talk about food stamps a little bit too. Let's go there. So a mother of 6, I don't want to get in your business. I know you like to talk about whatever. You're very transparent, so it is what it is. You're in where? Tennessee, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So a mother of six. Have you been able to live okay? Let me mute you real quick, Shantae. Yeah, that is killing me. A mother of six. Have you been able to live okay off of the food stamps that you've been able to get and throughout the pandemic? There you go.
Can you hear me? Yes, I have.
Okay.
And the pandemic stamp helped also.
Okay. Can you say how much roughly around a mother of six in Tennessee gets your food stamps a month?
About 1,100.
So
I wish somebody would give me some.
So I have a question, and this is just me being nosy. So without government assistance, would you be able to take care of your 6 children? I'm just very curious. Like with your businesses and your own income, without government assistance, would you be able to take care of those and feed them?
I would be able to because I'm that mother, but right now I need the assistance, and I'm going to use the assistance to build my empire like everybody else been doing.
But so before the pandemic, were you utilizing these different programs also?
Yes, I was getting food stamps before the pandemic.
Yeah. And Shantae, as far as medical, I'm gonna mute you real quick. As far as medical, are you receiving state medical for you and your kids, or are you paying for that out of pocket? Go ahead.
Okay, now that's a funny story. Yes, I am. Me and my children have Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Blue Care, TennCare, whatever you want to call it. But Sammy, he may remember this, he may not. Back in 2012, the state tried to they actually tried to charge me with TennCare fraud and food stamp fraud. Okay, basically saying that I wasn't. Yes, you can look it up, but it's a story behind it. So basically, I went to court for that. I was pregnant at the time with my daughter. Never been in trouble in my life. I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. I was in graduate school at A&M at the time. My worker she knew, that I was in graduate school, that I was back and forth from Tennessee to Nashville. So I wasn't doing anything wrong, but this was the time where the government or whatever was cracking down on as insurance fraud, period. And people were actually like billing TennCare for dead kids and getting checks and going on trips and stuff like that. No, I wasn't in that, but I'm saying that's how I got like looped into like getting, I guess, investigated per se. But to make a long story short, I took a plea. They gave me 6 years probation, ordered me to pay $38,000 in restitution. There was $23,000 towards the TennCare, which was basically the birth of a child because I had a child during the time that they said I wasn't eligible, and then another $13,000 in food stamps. I was, like I said, I was put on probation for 6 years. 6 years turned to 8 years. I'm currently off right now. It's expunged off my record, but here's the kicker now. Me and my kids were never off of food stamps or TennCare. So what fraud did I commit?
So I can't answer that, but I do have another question. So, do you consider yourself to be middle class?
Yay, but maybe a little lower. No, I don't. No.
So how
because I feel that sometimes the middle class are sometimes I actually feel like the middle class is sometimes looked over. Like it's like you fall right in this area where it's like, oh, you make too much, or you and it's yeah. So no, I don't.
The middle class is always looked over, and so that was the next part of my question. So the taxes, that go to pay for, a lot of these governmental programs and stimulus package and all of that, like it's taxes raised on the middle class, so like it's working class people that make less than $150,000 that are paying, for other people to be able to benefit from these programs, so do you think that it's fair for someone that's not in your situation, right? Like that goes to work every day, that, makes maybe $50,000, $60,000 a year to have to pay more in taxes to support you and your family?
And that's an honest question, Ray Wills. And I'm sure Shantae is going to give an honest answer.
Yeah. Like in my case, I'm going to say no, because I'm a working American. The only difference between me and them is I may make $40,000 to $50,000 a year, but I have 6 children. So that's where I get put in a different, category. So I pay taxes too, just how they pay taxes. So I don't look at myself as I'm just living off the system, because I contribute. Also, everybody doesn't contribute, but I contribute. So, but I get what you're saying, because I see it every day. People that I grew up with that's been on the system since they were 17 years old, been getting Section 8 and food stamps, and they almost 40 now, and it's like, what are you doing with your life? So I get what you.
I just want to ask. You said earlier that you're not in corporate America, so I just want to ask, how do you contribute? Like in what way do you contribute?
Well, for the past 3 years, I haven't been in corporate America. So, but as I said, I still have 2 businesses that I've learned how to work my businesses and get those deductions and those write-offs where I'm not having to pay taxes. So, and if there's anyone on this line, on the live, that want to learn how to make their money work for them, I'm here to show them. That's all I can say.
I'm here to learn. I want to know, because I pay a fuckload of money in taxes.
I mean, shit. Yeah, that's interesting. I think, Kim, you had something? Was it you?
No, I just wish I could get some food stamps. I mean, that's literally my dream in life.
Yeah, me too.
Able to just get food stamps. Like, to not have to pay for food. To me, that's my dream. I wish I could.
I agree with that. Is there's a stigma, or there used to be a stigma associated with getting assistance, food stamps. Like we grew up with the paper joints. Like there used to be a stigma to that.
They're debit cards now. They debit cards.
But what they don't understand is those government assistance programs was first started for the white people, for the veterans when they first came home. So like,
that's a fact. And you better believe they still
mad at us.
They're definitely.
Well, I have a question, Shantae. If you were not selling food stamps, how much would you not sell your food stamps for?
Exactly.
Inflation bringing the 75 cents on the dollar.
Best question all night.
Some people do 50-50. Now them the good people. But I look at it.
I've heard of them.
But I look at it like the food stamps. Okay, it's government assistance, but the food stamps, it has the same value as your dollar. The only difference is it's tax-free. So why would I give you 200 food stamps for $100 in cash? I done gave you a whole $100 extra. Like, that makes no sense to me. So if I were selling food stamps, it wouldn't be for that.
If there's anybody in Huntsville that are not selling food stamps,
yo,
please come and talk to me because I can't get them out.
Before this is a PR disaster. Hold on, Sammy.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
Before this is a disaster.
Don't come up here to fourth quarter and talk to me. Do not come up here. I don't want to be around you nor your food stamps.
No.
So just so I can clean this up so we can avoid PR disasters. This is only jokes. It is only jokes. There is no Holloway's Meat Market indicator that you can go buy a whole bunch of food from and just put it in the deep freezer. It doesn't exist. It's only jokes.
That's it. I like that. I like that. So Shantae. Damn. That echo, baby. God damn. Do you ever, and I know you, so I'm gonna ask you this. I know that you're not embarrassed about your situation because you good. Do you ever go out, even with the meme that I posted and that I got from somewhere else? I know a girl that's in Lansing, Michigan, Ray Wills, and she got 10 kids. 10 kids, 3 different baby daddies. I think 4 different baby daddies. Yeah, I know that shit crazy. So, and I know she proud. You know what I mean? She proud that she got 10 kids. She proud that she got 3 baby daddies. She proud that whatever, you know what I'm saying? So do you ever feel like people judge you? I mean, of course they do. You know how people are. But do you ever get that, do you ever get discouraged because you have 6 children? I don't know the situation with if you're married or not. Are you married, Shantae?
No, I'm not married, but we've been together for 8 years. The father of my last 3.
Got it. All right. Do you ever get? I'm sorry, baby. Do you ever get like, I guess embarrassed or whatever? I don't know if that's the word I want to use. If you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, no, I never get embarrassed about my situation and the fact that I have 6 children. I actually laugh about it all the time because never in a million years that I think I would have more than 2. But God laughed at my plan. But anyway, when I go out and it's me and all my kids, because sometimes it's more than just me and my kids. I have 6, and my fiance's nephew is here. So basically, it's like he lives here, and then his oldest son, he's 15. He's here all the time. So I always have a house full of kids. But when we go out, it's like people are more amazed, like, wow, she has 6 kids and they dress so nice, or they look so nice, or they way behaved, they're so cute, or oh, how do you do it? Or, so it's, and I wouldn't lie and say it's easy because it's not easy. I'm right here breastfeeding my 1-year-old right now. I don't know if y'all can see it, not embarrassed about it. He's hungry. He got to eat just like we got to eat. So that's just how I look at life. Like, be embarrassed for what? I mean, kids are a blessing. Somebody want to help me with these kids, they welcome too. I didn't plan on.
You got like a expedition.
Yeah. That's exactly how we travel. We travel all the time. And so, because a lot of people think that children stop you from your life. No, my children bring me joy, and I love being with my children. Yes, I need a break sometimes, but I love traveling with them. Like my girls, they travel dancers, so we always somewhere with them dancing.
How old is your oldest?
He just turned 17 last week.
And your youngest is a year and a half?
He turned 1 on the 20th of last month.
Okay, that's what's up.
And I'll be 40 next Thursday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Shantae. Me and Shantae go way back. We used to work together.
At West
And DirecTV.
Oh, who didn't work at West?
Man,
who didn't work there?
Ooh, I wanted to get on that West so bad.
I didn't work there at all.
Shout out to anybody that was on my team.
Me neither, but a lot of
it.
people did.
My cousin Marcus did too, for sure.
I was in the inaugural class, the first class that came up out that mug.
This nigga.
Oh, the fun we had at West.
The shit that went down off the.
Man, I wanted to get on that West so bad, Aldo, but God, I tell you, God knew my heart.
Yeah. West changed me from God.
So Shantae, I really appreciate you. You know, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story. You know, I really. Oh, go ahead, Ray. We're not done.
I'm not done with Shantae because I'm trying to figure out how I can get some of this assistance as well. So you know what I'm saying? I just want to know how your business is structured so that I can look and work with my money guy and my accountant and see how I can structure my business in the same way. Like I don't have 6, but I got 2. So you know what I'm saying? So I want to know the businesses, like, are they LLCs? Are they S corps? Are they incorporated? Like what type of businesses do you have, and how does that income keep you eligible for the benefits?
Hold on before you unmute yourself, Shantae, and before you answer that, y'all do know what 1, 2, 3 shows ago, 4 shows ago, maybe, we did a show. We had a gentleman by the name of Andre Stinson that somebody said maybe lying, and it was a big controversy about somebody lying on the show, and they thought, I guess, it came out to be. He was actually saying or explaining how to do this, y'all. He really was. If we was listening, Andre Stinson was actually telling us that there's exactly what I was talking about. So Shantae, go ahead. I just wanted to say that.
Unmute yourself, Shantae.
I got it. Go ahead.
I have one LLC that I actually just turned into a LLC. I was the S corp person for the longest, but I just recently done it, and that's just because I'm working on my business credit. So like what I was telling y'all with the new business that I'm in, man, the information is just like, it's just so overwhelming to teach you how to get business credit. Like I've taught people how to get credit cards that don't even have a lick of good credit, but it's tricks to all this. It's tricks to everything that we just been left out of the loop. And I'm glad that I was positioned to get in the loop. And so that's all I've been preaching. I've been showing everyone. I've shown my sister saving money on her, bringing more money into her household from her W-4 now. Like I said, my son is, and I'm using the cash flow management system, the debt management, all from this one business. This was a $20 investment, y'all. Like $20. We waste $20. And it has brought me residual income, commission on just showing people that they can fix their own credit, like easy stuff on your credit that you probably don't even look at. Like you probably have addresses and phone numbers on there that you don't realize that if you take those off, your credit numbers will skyrocket. Like, but people don't know this, so they may think like, oh, we're just gonna leave this information on here, and it's really hurting you. So today my credit score went up 52 points today, and it's just from this information that I'm learning. So like I said, I may be getting government assistance right now, but we're gonna have a new story to tell soon.
And I think that kind of goes to what I was saying on the post, is that I do hope that with the stimulus coming through, that people will actually get this money and create some new wealth stories or a new story. I mean, I'm gonna be frank and say that everything is not for everyone. What someone else does, you do not need to do if you do not understand it. Point blank, period. get the understanding and the wisdom, but at the same time, you have the ability to create an LLC. You have the ability to create a business, draft a business plan, walk around with this doggone money in your pocket like you got loot. At the very least, it will attract more money when you have money, not because you want it or need it, but because you don't need it. People will want to sow into you.
I just want to dispel the myth that everyone needs to go and start an LLC.
I was just about to say that.
That's why I said everything ain't for everybody.
But my thing is this: outside of that, everybody's trying to survive. Right? So you have to remember, everybody's in different positions at this stage in life, in our country, going through a pandemic. Some people need that money to pay bills. Some people need that money to survive. Some people need that money to pay off debt. You know what I mean? So do not beat yourself up because you didn't start a business because people on social media said you needed to start a business with this stimulus. If you have to choose between paying your rent or your mortgage and starting a business, do what you got to do. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
And so the thing is that I think what a lot of people don't really understand is that the people that the government chooses to give this money to are statistically people that are going to go out and spend this money, right? Not invest it, not start a business with it. Like it's called a stimulus because it's supposed to stimulate the economy.
That's right.
And you don't stimulate the economy if you start a business or if you know, like put the money in stocks or if you put the money in a savings account. So the reason why it goes to certain people is because the government knows that these people are more likely to spend it. And that's how you stimulate the economy, is by people spending the money.
But what will fuck them up is if all those people who they count on to spend the money to stimulate the economy say, fuck that. Let's do this. Do what Madison say. Let's put it in business. Let's start a business.
That's what I was just about to say, Sammy. Like, you know, it's people that loathe the idea of the government giving out this much money, specifically to Black people. But if we were to do what Sammy said, I guarantee you our ass wouldn't get no more money because it's not designed for the come up.
That's right. They wouldn't. It's not designed for it.
So fiscal discipline is different from fiscal literacy, right? We've got to find those people who are disciplined with their investments, disciplined with their spending, who are strategic enough to make this work. And those are the people we know we can pour into or invest into, right? Everybody does not have an entrepreneurial spirit, but will support you. But if you give them a dope ass product, Joe Cross, hold up that flask. I mean, the decanter, right? If you give them a dope ass product, right? And you really know that there's a purpose. Like Sammy has done this thing, and I try to shout him out when I can, but look how much fiscal impact this crew alone has had across the Bulldog community.
Yeah.
So imagine when we keep getting bigger and bigger, right? That's what we do. We pour into those people who do have the tenacity for it, who can stick it out. Shit, if you start the right LLC, I'm gonna try and buy it from you for about $2,000. You're gonna double your 1,000.
Well, so Joe Maddie, I'd like to go a step further, right? And I'd say, like, I would like to give people an opportunity or tell them where to invest their money instead of telling them to go out and start a whole business, right? Like, so Sammy and I own a couple of businesses. That. If anyone wants to invest any money with us, right? Like, talk to us and we will help you invest that money. Like, you don't have to go out and start your own business. We already have shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to kind of like the, you know, like crowdfunding or shit like that, like everyone's not going to go out and start a business. Even if you start an LLC today, you're not going to know what to do with it tomorrow. So like if anyone needs assistance or wants like help, like I'll connect you with my money guy so that we can show you how to make money on your money.
So as I mentioned earlier, an LLC only costs $50 to start. So you ain't really using your whole stimulus check to start no business. The money that you're using is to fund your business. So for example, if you want to start a retail business, online retail, you may use that money to have your website built out, or for marketing, or for photography. But to start the business would not require more than $50, you know, with an LLC. So
Fatima, I got you.
Don't forget about that business tax credit.
Yeah. Shantae, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry, I had to mute you because that feedback is heavy.
I think it might be your speaker too, Shantae. If you're near a speaker, like if you can cut the speaker down, I think that's what's speeding up.
I'm just on my cell phone, and that's it. I'm not near anything. But I was gonna say it costs $300 for an LLC here in Tennessee.
Yeah, I know state to state is different. In Michigan, it's only $50, but it's not more than $300. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other piece of that is that you don't have to start your LLC in the state that you live in. So all of my LLCs are in Delaware because of the tax.
Exactly.
So you don't have to start an LLC in the state that you live in.
Yeah, I have an LLC in California, and Jesus Christ, the fees, the yearly, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
What the hell you do that for?
My business partners.
It's $40 in me.
So I follow the Trump model, and all of my LLCs are in Delaware, right? And the company that I use, I have a mailing address there and all of that. So they function in Delaware. So I'm able to do that. So like my fees are very low, Joe.
And that's smart, Ray, because all the banks are started in Delaware because of the taxes being so low there. So that's actually good that you did that. But
so real quick, so Rob Howell is interesting. You literally said this. He said, bring up about the parents robbing their kid, because that's exactly where we're going. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but if you haven't, check this out.
Parents be like, do you have McDonald's money? Do I? Where's that $25 Grandma gave me for my birthday? That's what I'm asking. That's my McDonald's.
Hey, that's her McDonald's money. Where's her money?
Yo, why did I think about Yuri a while ago when I watched that, bro?
Yo, the thing is number one, Yuri don't eat McDonald's, but that's something Yuri be like that. And she does have a bank account, and she does ask me what her limits are or what her balance is. But Ray Wills, you want to talk about that clip? You want to start off talking about that clip real quick?
So
it was funny to me. Number one, hold on. The music.
It's great.
She got up and got loud and said, money, my nigga. And then the move. Hey, hilarious. I was in tears. Ray Wills, go ahead.
So yes. So I do feel that parents of the previous generation felt that they were entitled to anything that their children had or did, right? Because they were taking care of them. I don't subscribe to that notion. My children have their own money. They have their own bank accounts. They have their, college saving funds and things like that. And their money is their money. When I try to instill a sense of value in the things that they want. So sometimes we do make them buy their own things. Like Reagan needed a laptop for school because they were distance learning. So I said, you save up what you can, we'll figure it out. She came up with $390 to buy her a MacBook Pro, right? She's 11. You know what I'm saying? Like, so of course we got her that $1,500 MacBook. She came up with $390. That's awesome. So I think that this generation, I think that we try to set our kids up in a different way than maybe some of our parents did. And so like, I also think that like we live in abundance, right? Like I've never told my kids like we don't have McDonald's money. Like I've never said that before. Like I've never told them that we don't have. So like that, if you're taking money from your kids, you're a sorry motherfucker. That's all I'm gonna say, right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? What's crazy? Like I said, I keep a little note that she said it. I keep a little note that where is it at? That I share with my kids because my daughter has an iPad, my son has a phone, and with their bank account balances. And that's how they balance their little checkbook from my notes that I share with them. So they see how much they got, and we were just on vacation last week out in LA, and we were on the beach, and my daughter was saying, "Dad, don't tell SJ, don't I got blah 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 in my bank account?" You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Ray, I'm teaching them early how to balance a checkbook. You know what I'm saying? Their own little checkbook. So they won't have to ask me for money. You know what I'm saying? And I can't recall, and I'm gonna ask everybody this. I'm gonna start with Aayana and Chris because you guys are the youngest. I can't recall because I lived, me and my twin sister, we was the youngest, our mom, but we had a dad. He used to come get us, whatever. But I can't remember. I remember my mom getting the money from my dad. If he didn't give us money directly, I could remember my mom getting the money and my mom be like, "All right, your dad gave this amount of money and y'all have this amount of money for blah, 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 whatever you want." So my mom was transparent. Chris, let's start with you and then Aayana, since you're the youngest, let's start with you and then Chris. And be transparent if you want, whatever. Did you have that issue with your mama or daddy?
Yes. So my dad actually, because my dad is in the military at the time, so he had gave me an actual debit card. I had a debit card in my name, but did I ever see my debit card? No, because my mama had my debit card. So like any money that my dad would send me, I would never see it. I just talked about that with my mom the other day. Yeah, I had to call her to the carpet about a lot of stuff. But
yeah. And you know what? To be honest with you, these are when those conversations happen when you get a little older and you think about it. Because I remember, for instance, my dad died when I was my sophomore year at A&M, but I remember right before he died, and I was smoking some weed in college. I had just started smoking weed, and I remember I'm like, damn, this what my daddy used to smoke. Like I used to smell that something. This is what my daddy used to smoke weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't really know, like, our parents. Is that you, Joe Cross? I'm sorry. You said something? Oh, my bad. I totally lost my train of thought. But Chris, did you ever have that issue with your parents?
That's when that lick hit you, boy. But nah, I feel you. But nah, I ain't had an issue with my folks. I appreciate my folks because they really kept it real with me from day one. Especially my pops. He kept it real about everything, anything I wanted to know. He always kept me the real. So when I got older, I just understood like everything that my parents were telling me was, pretty much true. But I thank them for not finessing no money out of me and stuff like that, Now I done did stupid things with the money they gave me, so maybe that's the young issues, young dumb things. But as far as them taking money from me, nah, that's really trifling for real, But I don't know.
It's a trifle. Joe Cross.
Yeah, I'm grateful for my parents, man. Like, I remember when I got my little first job. Like, I think I was 15. And it felt like I used to work 1,000 hours, and I got a $87 check. And my mama would take half of that money, and she really put it up for me. Like, by the time I graduated high school, it's like, here, you made $100. It was a little more than that, but it was like, so yeah, like, nah, they didn't rob any of us. They tried to teach us about balancing and checkbooks and all this and that. But at that age, you ain't really listening for real. You think about video games and this and that. But I'm thankful for the lessons that they tried to teach.
But when I say trifling, I'm just talking about, people parents who use and not investing in things like that, just when I say trifling, but as far as taking half and doing something with it, that's very different.
Yeah, especially a lot of child actors back in the day. You hear those disaster stories, man, where they accumulated all of this money and the parents blew it all, and even more commonly, just within our community, kids credit ruined by the time they get to be 3 years old, and you just hear about all that, and it's very unfortunate, but I think it's a combination of financial illiteracy and just a bunch of other factors. But
I remember my brother, and James, if you're watching this, because this is live anywhere. James, if you're watching this, nigga, I remember my brother was at Grambling University, and that nigga put a fucking phone bill in my name. Nigga, I was 9 years old.
Did he?
Yes. Right. When you talk to him, ask him, nigga. You put a bill in my name, phone bill, AT&T. Nigga, I remember my mama got on his ass, but I remember that when I was in Scotland. So yeah, if a parent use your credit as a kid, because we can't, they have a social security number. If that social security number is used, that will fuck that kid up forever. And I found that out when I was an adult or whatever, when I tried to get some credit or something, I found out. And I remember my mama was on your ass, boy.
But I also think that like we are in a different position than our parents were. Like they were surviving, right? Like we're thriving, you know what I mean? And like, so we're actually setting our children up and not doing the things that our parents might have done to us, because we didn't like them, and like we exist now in a space where we can be who we are unapologetically. Our parents didn't have that luxury, So when I was preparing for college, I didn't have a college fund,
Right.
like we had to figure it out at the moment. So that's how I ended up at A&M, because I couldn't afford to go elsewhere, So, whereas Reagan, we've been saving for her college since she was 3,
right.
so she'll have a couple $100,000 to go to school with, but she's got a 4.0, so she'll probably have a full ride. So that money will be able to go to buy her first crib. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a generational difference that we are setting for our children. I think it's dope, man.
And Ray, just to piggyback off of that, because based on the topic for today, particularly the stimulus, I think just the overall consciousness of Black people again is rising. I don't think it's the survivalist versus the thriving mentality. We know things that we've learned from our parents, who learned from their parents, because you only can do as good as you know what I mean? And we're learning as the generations go. And I have a lot of hope for Black people. Of course, this is a panel of educated people, and this probably doesn't mirror the entire Black community, but it is a substantial amount of Black people, like, HBCU alumni, educated people who are fixing their credit and buying homes and starting businesses and, learning about financial literacy. I don't think the welfare story of Black America, I don't think, of course it exists, but I don't think that's our story anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, so Joe, and the thing that I want to push back on, right, is so, and I'm a huge proponent of this, that welfare has been vilified, right? Like if you are on any type of government assistance, like it's frowned upon. But when you have rich people that write off $1 billion, right? They wrote off $1 billion that they should have had to pay taxes on. There is literally no difference in that, right? So like government assistance is government assistance, whether it's in the form of food, whether it's in the form of tax, write-offs, like it's the same shit. But like we vilify one and not the other. because one, you know, is benefiting a certain demographic and the other is benefiting another. However, I do feel that as a community, right, like if you are having these governmental benefits, like it should be a means to an end and not a means to sustain, right? Like these are things that you should be doing to elevate yourself and to lift yourself into a position of abundance, and not something that you're doing just to live. And that's why I posed that question to Shantae earlier, like, without this money, would you be able to take care of those children, right? And I didn't mean that in a negative way, but like I just want people to look at her situation, right? And she said that she could. So like if she has these children and she's able to take care of them without that government assistance, that's dope. But if she qualifies for that shit, why shouldn't she get it? So like I'm here with it. I'm here for it.
So I want to go to the comments real quick because I saw something that really had me think about it. Dexter Simmons said you got to put your kids on your credit cards as authorized users. Don't do that shit if you don't pay them off every month.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the move.
Exactly.
Right?
Credit
So
is not
do that. Now, if you want to pay it off,
don't add your kids to nothing. Your credit is not seriously because I want to talk about Sammy's question. Now, my dad was amazing, right? But my mom, you talking about somebody having some stuff in your name? I went off on my mom. Clean off. I never went off on nobody so bad in my life. Okay.
Yeah, when did you go? When did wait, hold on.
I found out in college.
That's what I was gonna ask you. When did you find out how old
I found out in college.
Okay.
You know, because when my parents got divorced, every dime that I got, she would try to take it. You know what I'm saying? Before my parents got divorced, you know, when I got birthday money, that was my money to go shopping and do what I wanted to do with. But when my parents got divorced, even child support, I used to be like, well, I know how much my dad is paying, so why I can't get X, Y, and Z or whatever, right? And so it wasn't until I was about 15 when I left to go live with my dad. And most kids don't go live with their dad. Most kids stay with their mom. But in my case, I was like, no, I want to go live with my dad because I'm not
dad was the breadwinner.
Yeah. But to be honest, a lot of my female friends here in Detroit whose parents were not married or divorced that I'm close to, most of us live with our dads.
Hey, what's crazy is that's when you just said that, I just thought about it. When I was at King, a lot of girls who was single family, they did live with their daddy.
Yes, because you know, I don't know what the deal was with mom, but she just couldn't figure it out, you know. And so for me, me and my husband both are adamant about, like Ray said, our daughter's my daughter's college is paid for already. She's only 2. She'll be 3 next month. Okay. Paid for. My goal was to make sure that her college was paid for by the time she was 5. So if my child grows up and says, I want to go to an Ivy League school, she can go to an Ivy League school. I went to Alabama A&M like everybody else because
my kids ain't going to no Ivy League school.
Well, my thing is, if she want to, she can.
We can go. We can afford it. We cutting the check.
And so my thing was,
hold on. Did y'all hear Kim's tone when she was talking to me? It just elevated a little bit. If she wants to, nigga, right? That's how she talk to me, y'all.
Exactly. But my thing is this. I had to go to A&M, but to be clear, I fell in love with Alabama A&M my 10th grade year because I was a singer and I met Dr. Carney. He heard me sing. He was like, whenever you graduate, you will have a full ride here. So I knew that if I couldn't get in nowhere else, I was going to Alabama A&M University. But my what I thought was my dream school was Spelman, but they wasn't giving no scholarships because it's a private university. So unless you are literally a 4.0 student and valedictorian of your class, you ain't getting no scholarship to Spelman. Okay. So I was grateful that I absolutely loved Alabama A&M, but I didn't have a choice. And as savvy as my father was with money, as put together as he was like, my parents didn't pay for me to go to college. And that was the mentality. My parents didn't pay for me to go to college, so you on your own. You better get a scholarship. And it was always like that. Now, on the other side of it, he's like, I should have done better for you. I should have, did X, Y, and Z. And so now I'm 38 years old, or I'll be 38 years old this year. He has a different mindset now because the times are changing. He's seeing all the things that, our generation is accomplishing. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure, because he calls my daughter Buddha Buddha. She going to have whatever she need. You know what I'm saying? But it sometimes takes for the children to do something different, for the parents to have a change in mindset and for something to click. But that was a non-negotiable for me. When I said I was going to have a child, my child always has her own money. You know what I'm saying? She
I think I feel the same way, man.
Like me at this point. She got money for college. She got money. Our goal is, if my daughter want to buy a house when she's 25 and she not married, she can buy a house when she's 25. If she get married, I want to be able to give her the most beautiful wedding that anybody can give, right?
We plan differently. Exactly.
Right? We prepare for our children because we understand they didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
So if I wanted you to be here, my job as your mother and my husband as her father is to make sure that we take care of you to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
So if we have the means to save money or to prepare for her in a certain way, we're going to do that. But the reality is our parents weren't doing that. They just, and my dad, I'll be clear, my dad definitely had money and saved money, but college, he was like, you on your own. Like I bought my own cars. I never had nothing co-signed for me. None of that.
Kim, one of the things that I try to give our parents' generation grace, right? Because so my mom was born in '60, right? So this is still during segregation times. This is still, like America at its worst point. Right. So like their mentality was assimilating, right? Like trying to fit into the white world. You know what I'm saying? And so like their focus wasn't the same as ours. Theirs was to go out and get a job and have job security. And my mom just retired from Dominion. She worked at the same place for 30 years. That's not something that any of us would ever do at this point. You know what I mean? And so like I try to get people to understand like where we are in America is because we just haven't had enough time, right, to get where we need to be. We're going, like our generation is blazing the path to get there. Like imagine how our children's will experience America. It'll be very, very different than we will.
Absolutely. And you know what, Kim, I applaud you for exposing your children and anybody who's exposing their children, because there has been this myth in the Black community that we have to struggle in order to understand the value of money.
That's right. And we ain't doing that.
We're not doing that because your children can learn the value by exposure. You get more from being exposed to things than you do from struggling, because and I'm a living witness to that. Again, kudos to my parents. Every year we were somewhere in the United States, looking at something different, broadening our horizons, and it has a tremendous effect to see, oh wow, it's people living like this. Oh wow, it's people living like this. I've seen people live in huts with no carpet, and we're still happy in other countries. I've seen people live in just ridiculous mansions. I mean, I've seen it, and what it allowed me to do was say, hey, I can be this if I want to, or I can be that if I want to. Now, did we have times where we struggle? Of course, but the true lessons were learned from exposure. And that's why, again, just kudos to you, Ray, Sammy, and everybody else who are exposing their children to things that they didn't get to see and beyond.
And Joe, can I say something real quick?
Sure, go ahead, Shante.
Cause like, growing up, I grew up in the projects, in poverty, murders every day around drugs, pregnancy, and I knew I didn't want that. But I also knew that my mom was not in a position to be able to pay for college for me. So I knew I had to do what I had to do. So I went to school, made the grade. I was valedictorian of my high school. But guess what? Spelman still then didn't give me a full scholarship then. And I had a 3.9, but I still didn't get a full scholarship. I had like seven or eight schools that offered me a scholarship, but Alabama A&M actually came to Nashville and said, here, sign on this line, full ride presidential scholarship. Like I said, I knew my mom wasn't going to be able to, do that for me. So I signed on the dotted line. I took that scholarship. When I got my first Pell Grant, government assistance, I got my own car, my own first car. I knew my mom was not going to be able to give me a car, but I still knew, the things that she went through and struggled, to help me get, to where I wanted to go. Like, we didn't travel. If I traveled, it probably was with an auntie or with an uncle. Like my mom did, she wasn't able to do that. In college, when y'all talking about like putting bills in kids' names, I was in college, got my first apartment, gonna get my cable up. You owe cable $218. Like, how? Come to find out, my mom had the cable bill on my name. She took care of it, but still, like, I had to find out like that. So it was like, so now, I've been in the travel business for 5 years. I travel. I take my kids. Like he said, expose them to everything. They need to see the good and the bad. Like last year when we experienced the tornado, I had just had a baby. My baby was 2 weeks old, I think, when we had the tornado. We were without power for 9 days. We stayed here. We had a generator, and our kids were seeing like, oh, you don't need those devices. You don't need the internet all the time. Go outside and play, like do something, read a book. So, they got to experience that.
So
hey,
what?
Hold on, Maddie, you got that from me. You got that from me. How do you fumble the white privilege bag?
You know goddamn well where I was going with this. How do you with all of this we're talking about as Black people right now, if we were in a position of absolute power, not just power, how the hell could you fumble white privilege? How?
Hey, I'm about to let you go, Ray. What I'm saying is, if I see a white homeless person, I said this weeks ago, maybe week 11, 10, or whatever we were talking about. Say this.
I gotta go, y'all. Just let y'all know. Love y'all.
Hey, if I see a white person or definitely a white homeless person, I'm always asking, how did you fumble that white privilege bag?
I ain't got time to ask that question.
So,
I thought about it. I wanted to.
So let me just say this. So the notion of whiteness is relatively new, right? So when our parents were coming up, there were Irish, Italian, Poles, there were all of these different demographics that didn't fuck with each other, right? And somewhere along the line, like rich white people, or rich Euro Americans, came up with this idea of whiteness to elevate those that look like them above Black people. And that's a fact, right? So that's where, there were people that came over here that didn't have anything, and there was no white people. They were Irish immigrants. They were, Polish immigrants. They were people like that. So their families didn't necessarily have that same privilege at the time and didn't get those same advantages that white people might have now. So you're talking about people that are here that might have been here for a generation or two. My family has been in this country for 5 or more. I'm not 100% sure, but we've been here for fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you fumble that white bag, is because you weren't always white. You were here and you were Italian and the Irish didn't fuck with you, or you were Jewish and the Italians didn't fuck with you. So there's ways to fumble it. You can get it back now because of your adjacency to whiteness. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it happened. So I just wanted to explain that real quick. So if you're not a member of the HBCU CAF, please go out. We'll send the link in the chat right now. We hit 1,000 members, and I'm excited about it. We're going to do a little after party in the HBCU cab. So anybody that's watching right now, if you want to come and join us and have a little conversation, have a drink with us, join us after the show.
Yep.
I didn't know that, but I'm down for it, I guess. Let's get it cracking over in the cab. If you on Facebook, the HBCU cab, come join us. Congratulations on that. Joe Cross, congratulations on that. Ray Wills, salute to my sister Disa. Prayers for you, my sister. We love you. Congratulations. Calf is booming. So before we get out of here, let's get to our final thoughts. Thank you, Aayana. I know you had to go. Diamond was having some technical issues, but she has been in the chat. Salute to you, Diamond. Aldo, we love you, my brother. Candace Castillo, we love you, my sister. I know you're recovering from something that was going on with you, but we love you. Sadar, Quentin, we love you guys as well. Salute to y'all. Final thoughts, Shantae Mayo.
Just want to say thank you for having me on the show, and this has been great. Like, this conversation needed to happen. And just the last thing on what Ray was saying, have you guys noticed, like, on applications it now has like white Hispanic?
Oh yeah,
but
because those people are white in their country, and that's a here they're all Hispanic. In their country they differentiate in the same way we do.
Or I lived in LA and them motherfuckers swear they white. So go ahead.
Yeah, she used to boast of the white. But keep going.
Yeah, I just think now they like he said, they put everybody else above us, and it's like now since I guess like since they're like on the right track, and you know they all about their work ethic, and you know, so now they want them to be a part of the whites, where at first they were minority with us. So I just find that funny.
To be honest, they always felt that way, and even if you look at the fight between Dominican and Haiti, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's another story. We'll be talking about that for hours. Go ahead, Ray.
And I was just going to say, like, I mean, the reason for that is because we are looking at it through an American lens, though, right? So, but if I live in Colombia, there are white Colombians, there are black Colombians. So they are white in their country, which is why when they come here, they consider themselves to be white. When we group them all as Hispanic or Latino. So,
just think about what you're saying, though. Ain't it crazy?
It's wild. It's wild as fuck.
Ain't it crazy? Think about it, y'all. Kim, ain't it crazy?
It's very crazy. But they also consider Hispanic or Latino an ethnicity and not a race. So when you do certain, like even mortgage applications, they say ethnicity, race, and gender. So ethnicity, Hispanic or Latino, not Hispanic or Latino. So they don't even look at Black or African American as an ethnicity. They only acknowledge Hispanic or Latino as an ethnicity. So that right there should tell you enough.
Deep. Hey, Shantae, we salute you, my sister. Listen, you always got a platform here on Let's Talk About It whenever you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm glad that you came in that comment to speak your piece. You know, ain't nobody judging you this way, sister. Do what you gotta do. Live your life. Take care of your kids, and that's the American way. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you. Final thoughts. Our guest, Chris Newell.
Yeah, it's actually Newell, but you
Newell.
know,
I'm sorry, my brother.
You're good, bro. You know, it's all good. I swear. But final shout out to Diamond for even inviting me. You know, I was when the flyer came out, I was like, damn, it's gonna be like that, like on some guest type shit. But I appreciate that. You know, thankful. I appreciate you guys. You know, I just been a sponge. You know, soaking up all the game y'all speaking of, and just seeing, you know, growing up, the generation. I don't really know our generation is whatever. Coming from when technology first started till now, and just seeing the just the positivity of how Black people coming together, you know, it's real powerful. And like somebody said, you know, how our kids or y'all kids would experience how life would be. You know, it really made me think, you know, like how really that would be, you know, because especially how everything going on in the world, and from Trump to just everything that's been going on the last at least 10 years or in the last 5, you know, things are really changing, and conversations are really different, you know, and I have a lot more conversation like this than I ever had. And, I just think it's a lot of positive ways going on. So I appreciate just the platform and being here and soaking up all the game. And lastly, you know, I want to send my condolences to a man named Reginald Hamlet. He passed away not too long ago, aka Teddy. You know, he was a big guy in the band world, but also A&M, KK side, SDs. So I want to just shout him out, and just the Hamlet family, you know, sending our condolences, you know, KK side till we die. And I thank y'all again for let's talk about it. This is dope. This is dope.
Yeah. RP Teddy, man. RP Teddy. Matter of fact, let's do this the right way, and let's give Teddy 10 seconds real quick. Cheers to you, Teddy. RIP, my brother. I don't even know you, but for Chris, RIP. Chris, thank you, bro. You, like I told my now little brother Jordan, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, you guys are officially invited to the cookout. Y'all invited to whatever we got going on, bro. We about to do some amazing things. Myself, Ray Wills, Joe Cross, Madison, Kim Dobine, Candace Castillo, Diamond Thomas, Sadara Collins, Quentin Carter, Aldo Anderson. We getting ready to do some big things with Alabama A&M during homecoming, throughout the year, throughout the next several years. You guys are invited. You guys are family. So thank you, my brother. We here for you. Whatever you need, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay connected, man, for sure. You know, I appreciate things like this. And anything y'all got going, you know, I'm gonna be a familiar face for sure. You know, my boy Madison, he know, you know, that's my guy right there.
Oh yeah, he already Maddie. When we got you on the show, Maddie already hit me. We are literally brothers and sisters. We all probably communicate every day and somehow. Maddie told me I didn't even know who you was. Diamond said, I got my boy Chris. Maddie said, oh, that's my man's, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, we connected, and we welcome you to the family, my brother. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you. Final thoughts, Joe Cross, aka Tennessee Whiskey Poppy.
Tennessee Whiskey Poppy, you know. Great show, man. You know, great show. Shantae, awesome. Chris, awesome. You know, I just want to say, like, you know, Black people we've been getting shitted on in America for a long time. But I think it was something about that George Floyd, watching that man get choked out on that camera.
Yeah.
That changed something, man.
Everything.
I'm telling you, around the world, it changed something. And I think that now is our time. We can squander it away on some bullshit, or we can get serious and take that money and do whatever we need to do to get a leg up. You know, but one thing's for sure, without resources, that ain't happening. So for that reason alone, I welcome the government assistance in the Black community. Take it and change your life with it, and create a family legacy with it, and just do some big shit, you know? And that's all I gotta say.
That's what's up, Cross, man. We always appreciate you. Again, man, Thank you for everything that you do with the HBCU CAV. That thing is building. There's TSU members, Morgan State, Howard, Hampton. I'm seeing North Carolina A&T, Ray Wills. You guys are amazing. DC, you guys are amazing with that group. That group is building, and we appreciate you guys. So if you guys are not a member of the group, the HBCU CAF on Instagram or on Facebook, I'm sorry, make sure you guys go join. Congratulations, Joe. Congratulations, Ray. And Ray, final thoughts.
So I just want to say this, as much as I want people to enjoy the money that's being given to them, the real flex is not needing it, right? And like, I implore everyone to try to get to a point to where you can be your own stimulus. You can reach back into your brokerage account or into your savings account when you need to have an influx into your life, right? So whatever that means for you, start to build that for yourself, right? Like, so I like to play savings games, right? So if Babe and I want to go to dinner and we decide not to, that $200 that I would have spent, I send it to savings, right? Or if I was gonna buy something and then I didn't make it, like, I'll send that to savings. So like, I like to play a game with saving money. And like, I promise you, once you start to see commas in your account, it'll become addictive, right? Like, and you'll want to see that number grow. And you want to, don't always be a spender, right? Because spenders are really the bottom of the barrel in terms of the economy. So like, take the steps today to make sure that you and your family are set for tomorrow. That's all I got to say.
That's what's up, man. Ray, you want to, Henrika told me to make sure that I mention this.
Oh, sure. We got karaoke tomorrow. Please come through. It'll be in the HBCU Cafe. So get your songs ready. I'm gonna be ready tomorrow. It's 8 o'clock tomorrow on Robbie. 8 o'clock tomorrow in HBCU Caf. We're doing live karaoke. Get your songs ready. Just because of the syncing issues, you'll have to play your own music, but we'll get you into the Zoom so you can play your song and sing it. And we'll be broadcasting live in the HBCU Cafe.
Salute, CAF. Salute to, it's all good. Salute to Diamond and Henrika and you, Ray. That shit was a movie. The first go round, unfortunately, it had to be moved to the new group, which is the HBCU CAF. But I'm excited. Hopefully my song don't get stolen again, but I am going to sing tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you. Thank you, Ray Wills, for everything you do, because for real. My sister, I want to end with my sis. So numbers don't lie.
Check the scoreboard. So seriously, every week I'm on, I talk about making sure you're plugged in, supporting Black businesses and building a Black business worth supporting.
You do.
Shout out a couple of folks. Reginald Hamlet, aka Teddy, he was a charter member for Kappa Kappa Psi. He left us in this past week. We celebrated his life recently. Instrumental, because without Kappa Kappa Psi on campus, there who knows what leadership would have looked like? Who knows what a Joe Maddie would have looked like? A Joe Merck would have looked like, right? I take that and I swear that I mean it on everything, is that our university creates leaders. And in so doing, we've gone to the moon and back. We've gone to the International Space Station and back. We're on Mars on the way back as a university with our classmates and our friends. I take none of that for granted. I don't take for granted the fact that we have one of the dopest engineering programs. I don't take for granted that we have an audience who needs to invite their non-AAMU friends to watch this show in the replay and to join the HBCU CAF. Do these things so that we can continue to have the economic impact as just a let's talk about it cast that we have on our university. We're doing something dope. We're just doing some dope shit, and we want you all to win while we do it. So, and I forgive me if I'm speaking for somebody I shouldn't speak for, but that's been the theme and the tenor, and we're building generational wealth. We're bridging the gap, and we're inviting folks who we ordinarily wouldn't have even talked to or even thought about. So we're expanding the conversation. Keep rocking with us so we can expand the platform. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah. Hey, Maddie, man, I'm lit too. Cause by the way, I promise you, Maddie, what I want to tell you, bro, me and you always have these conversations, but I really appreciate you. I appreciate your guidance. I appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate your leadership. And I'm proud to say that you are a leader on this team, man, and continue to do everything that you do, bro. Continue to shine bright, continue to put out that positive energy that you put out, and we're going to continue to grow. You already know, this platform has grown tremendously, and we only getting bigger. So I appreciate you, bro. I really do. And I can't wait for homecoming. Final thoughts, my sister, my little sis, my love. Hey, my love, Kim Brown Dobine.
You are so crazy. My final thoughts are literally don't look down on people that need the assistance, because at any point it could be you, right? And I say get all you can get, because at the end of the day, they don't want to give us that no way. So anything we can get, take it. I'm here for all of that. Y'all know I'm team reparations, all of that. So however many food stamps you can get, however many stimulus checks you can get, if you can get it, take it. Outside of that, I'm the same as my brother, Numbers Don't Lie, in supporting Black businesses, uplifting Black businesses. That's what my brand and business is all about. Female entrepreneurship. So supporting, empowering, and uplifting women in the fashion and beauty space. And at this point, any area of entrepreneurship. So I challenge you to, whatever extra money you get, to set money aside, if for nothing else, a dream fund. You may not know what you want to do right now, but set the money aside and really pray about it and think about what you can do that can be impactful, not only for your family, but within your community and the people around you. So cheers to my brothers. I have drank my celery juice to the end, because I'm trying to be skinny again, and I'm going to be skinny again. Okay. But cheers to my brothers here, my sister here, and my sisters who had to leave. Cheers to growth, health, wealth, and happiness, and an amazing Alabama A&M University homecoming this fall. Cheers. You muted, Sammy.
My bad. Cheers. Salute to all of my castmates. Salute to all of my all of our panel invites, our guests today. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little faded, and we got the after party. Make sure you guys come to the HBCU CAV on Facebook right now. After party hosted by Ray Wills. Salute to all of you guys. Don't forget to follow the page, the YouTube page, the Let's Talk About It YouTube page, as well as the Let's Talk About It page on Facebook. And salute to my girl, Carmen Thomas. I love you, Carmen. Thank you for everything that you do. Let's talk about it. Week 34. Here.